All right. So, hi everyone. Good afternoon or good evening for everyone joining this session. PhD in the Netherlands online series, episode 8. We're so happy to have you all again, and also to welcome you for those who are joining the first time. This is a series of webinars where we invite speakers from the Netherlands, but also alumni who did a PhD program in the Netherlands to share their experiences, but also their academic journey in the Netherlands. So in this session, we will talk more about experiences from our guest speaker today, who is currently conducting his study or his PhD program in the Netherlands in the medical field or medical ethics field. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fumita Sari, as the representative of Nuffic Southeast Asia. And before that, I would like to inform you regarding some information about our organization, but also information about how to start or how to pursue your study or PhD program in the Netherlands. So here's our guest speaker, Dr. Raditya Bagas Wicaksono, who will share more about his PhD program at the Department of Ethics, Law, and Humanities at Amsterdam UMC from the University of Amsterdam. But before we move forward to him to learn more about his experiences, let's learn more a bit about our organization. So we are a Dutch organization, officially from the Netherlands. We are funded by the Dutch government through the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Science. We are specifically appointed by the Dutch government to represent all of activities regarding Dutch knowledge collaboration, but also to facilitate all of information regarding knowledge. Apart from that, we are our head office is located in the Netherlands in The Hague, and there are some main activities that we actually do. So these are the activities. First one is to facilitate NL knowledge, where we facilitate all of the research, could be scientific research, and as well as event collaboration between the Netherlands and Southeast Asia. We also support internationalization of education, where we promote study in the Netherlands. We also sometimes participate in events such as education fair and giving out student counseling to prospective students in Southeast Asia. Other than that, we also manage some scholarship programs for bachelors as well as for masters. We also support outgoing mobility Indonesia. So we don't only promote study in the Netherlands, but we promote study in Indonesia through our program Wilweg, where we invite Dutch students to come to Indonesia. And last but not least, we also provide a platform for alumni, but also for those who have been living in the Netherlands through NL Knowledge Community. So we provide a lot of events for them, such as discussion, workshops, events, networking events, and so on. So those are our activities. But how do you start PhD in the Netherlands? So if this is the first time for you hearing about this, this will give you a little bit more information regarding PhD in the Netherlands. So for PhD, you are normally doing it for a minimum of 4 years by conducting original research. It's called dissertation. So you have to have your own topic to write your research. It could be by your own, but you could also collaborate with your future professors in the Netherlands. In general, PhD in the Netherlands is conducted through a job position. So normally the there will be available job positions vacancy at their university's website, but also a platform that I will show you a little bit later after this. But yeah, because it's a job position vacancy, so it means that you'll get a job contract for that, and it means that you'll get a salary from that. But there are other options as well. For example, if you are doing your research, your own research with your own research proposal, you can also apply through alternative way by pitching your own research proposal to your prospective professor in the Netherlands. So there are two types. Where you can apply a PhD program in the Netherlands, you can apply to 13 research universities, but also some institutions in the Netherlands, they do provide a PhD program in collaboration with research university. So please do check our websites, www.studyinnl.org. There you will find more information regarding PhD. Aside from that, you'll see on the slides, there are some websites that you can visit and learn more about a PhD program in the Netherlands. So a little bit information regarding the admissions and funding. What are the requirements that you have to prepare for your PhD? So they have their own criteria, of course, and 3 of them are listed here. Where you you have to have a solid background from your previous academic from your master's degree. So you do have to have topics that is relevant to your background, and then you do have to have a recognized master's degree, and lastly you do have to have a proficiency in English. So your English has to be good or excellent, because mostly you don't have to write your dissertation in Dutch, but you can definitely do it in English. For those of you who are wondering about ways to fund your PhD position, you can find 3 ways. The first one is to employed by the PhD awarding institutions, that is, for example, a research institution, or you can always find other scholarship opportunities from a fellowship or a grant awarded by a supporting body. This you can see, for example, from the Indonesian government, scholarship programs such as LPDP, or a program from the Ministry of Religion Affairs in Indonesia. They do provide such scholarship for PhD. And for tuition fees, this is not a mandatory for a PhD program, because normally in the Netherlands, they do not really offer you to pay for tuition fee. Rather that you have to prepare yourself for a budget where you what type of activities and research that you're going to do during your PhD years. So that's why it is also important that before doing the PhD in the Netherlands, you have to sort of plan all of your the budget. But if they do have or charges some fees for the enrollment, they will provide it on the website. So here on the right side, you will see a preview of the website of academic transfer. It is generally a platform where you can search through any type of job position available at the universities in the Netherlands. So you can just use keywords such as, for example, if you'd like to pursue in medical field, you can always type in medical, and then you'll see from which universities currently offering those types of vacancy. So there you can always find the criteria, requirements, and then the contact details for you to learn more about the job position. So that's a little bit information about the PhD, but now I would like to inform you regarding the PhD recruitment, which is one of the upcoming events. It's gonna be on October 7th in Jakarta. And this is one of the most wanted, yeah, because we organize this together with Academic Transfer, the platform were providing the information regarding job position, but also, and this PhD recruitment is an opportunity for you to apply through the research proposal. So they're actually looking for candidates who have existing scholarship, but it's not really close to that, but they're also open for those who doesn't have any scholarship program yet. So the deadline is approaching. It's on 3rd October at 11 Netherlands time. So it means it's going to be tomorrow at 4th October, 4 o'clock in the morning, Jakarta time. So please do check if you still need to complete your registration. Do that as early as possible so that the participating delegation can assess all of the application completed through the platform. Okay, so next is just a short information regarding our upcoming event as well. It's called the Winner, or the Week of Indonesia Netherlands Education and Research. The topic or the theme of this year is going to be enhancing knowledge connectivity of research and education between Indonesia and the Netherlands for regional impact. So there are going to be ample opportunities for you to meet a lot of speakers, to participate in seminars, poster session, but there's also going to be a Study Indonesia Virtual Expo. So there's going to be a lot going on during this international conference. So if you are interested in joining this event, please feel free to register or visit the website. Okay, so if you have more information or would you like to learn more about us, you can always visit our social media, but also contact us through our contact details. So thank you very much for listening for my presentation. Now we're jumping into the main program of this session. So would like to invite Mas Bagas. Are you here, Mas? Yes, so let me see if I can help you with the, yes, with the microphone. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi,
I'm Mas Bagas. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. It's a little bit cold in here, but otherwise it's fine.
Yeah, it's getting cold because I know in the Netherlands can be very, the wind is very challenging, right?
Yeah, typical. Also the rain, don't forget that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I miss those days now. No. Well, here it's not really it's been very hot, but I think it's moving into the rainy season, so I think we'll see in the future. But anyway, so our guest speaker here, Dr. Raditya Bagas Wicaksono. He is a PhD candidate from the Department of Ethics, Law, and Humanities from the Amsterdam UMC, University of Amsterdam. So welcome, Mas Bagas, and thank you for being here. So because the format of this session, it's going to be a talk show, so feel free for everyone to just submit your question through the Q&A tab, but also you can also use the chat box to share your experience or comments. So, okay, just to start, because I'm really curious about your PhD, because you have a interesting research topic about home palliative care. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but before jumping into that topic, would personally curious about your motivation and your reason to actually choose the Netherlands. Why the Netherlands and why University of Amsterdam?
Wow, this question is similar to my scholarship interview. So
Okay.
thank you for asking that. Why the Netherlands? I think it has to be connected with my professor, my supervisor, because both of my supervisors are those who are experienced with my topics in palliative care, and also one of them has been going on and off to Indonesia, and they know more or less how the context of Indonesian healthcare system, or they can imagine how Indonesian context can be. So I think that would be very helpful for me to help me and to facilitate me in embarking on this PhD research journey. And since both of my supervisors are here in the Netherlands, specifically in this university, so I'm following their tracks to be their PhD candidate here in Amsterdam UMC.
Okay. So, because your research topic is very specific to Indonesia, to a particular country, uh,
Mhm.
do they actually have like a partnership with Indonesian institutions, for example? Why they are very interested in your research?
Yeah. Yeah, so my department here, the Ethics, Law, and Humanities, have some previous activities together with my home-based institution. So I am a lecturer in one of the university in Indonesia, Universitas Jenderal Sudirman or UNSUD in Purwokerto. If you haven't know there, you have to come. It's a very beautiful city anyway. So both of these institution has some several activities beforehand, including one of my senior is also graduated from the same department, but with different research topics. So I'm here to continue the collaboration into much perspectful and newer ideas of research. So that is why we can cultivate this PhD.
Mm. So is that mean in your research process there are professors who are directly collaborating with you, or it's only you, the ones in charge
Yeah,
with
so
this research?
So research proposal, my own research project. So this is not like the typical PhD from the Netherlands who usually have one PI.
Mhm. Hello, Mas Bagas.
The principal investigator, and they have same topic in the same areas of research, and then finally we can uh, try to come up with a proposal and submit it to a scholarship funding.
Okay. So because you already mentioned about scholarship, but I think we're going to discuss more about that a little bit later, because we're still yeah, I still want to know a little bit about your background,
Sure.
Mas Bagas, because you've mentioned that I mean your research has a collaboration with UNSUD, your University of Jenderal Sudirman. But I would like to know more how or what is the process of you getting or pursuing your PhD, and so finally getting your PhD in the Netherlands. Did you consider to
Sorry, Amy, I think
yes? Can you hear me, Mas
my internet
Bagas?
is a little bit laggy.
Okay, but can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear your voice, but
Okay.
my internet was a little bit key just now.
Okay. Shall we maybe turn off our camera? Will that be will that is a solution
Uh,
to good for you.
Yeah, I think I can work with that.
Okay.
Can you repeat your last question, Amy?
Yeah, you're mentioning about your academic background. So would actually to learn more about how did you actually get or get accepted by the University of Amsterdam to do your PhD. Did you actually consider to find another PhD from another country, for example? Did you consider anything about that, or do you already know that you want to go to the Netherlands, and then because maybe they have a very good facilities for your research, for example, or maybe because of the history between Indonesia and the Netherlands? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so previously, before I pursue my PhD, I have a little bit of a dilemma to either pursue a master first or directly to a PhD. So I tried to pursue a master degree. I tried to apply several master program in different countries. Uh, and unfortunately, I didn't get a funding for the master degree, but then I found an opportunity for me to jump directly to PhD without pursuing an additional master. So my academic background is a Bachelor of Medicine plus professional training to be a medical doctor in Indonesia. And fortunately for me, in the Netherlands, if you are a medical doctor, it means that you already have a master degree because of the COAS, which is only a professional training in our Indonesian country, but here it is a master. So it is an opportunity for me to be able to directly pursue a PhD, but they have some kind of a requirement. So you have to submit your academic transcripts to really see the academic course that you have already taken, and also what kind of research or publication that you have already had before your PhD. And then they assess it, and finally they come up with the result that yes, I am eligible to pursue a PhD, and then I can continue to be the PhD candidate here in University of Amsterdam. So that is basically the process. But again, also, I think Netherlands is a very familiar country for me. I have been here before for another research activities 4 years ago. And during that 1 month period, I found it very comfortable to live here because I can see lots of Indonesian food and also similar words, for example, between Indonesian words and Dutch words. Also, I found it very easy to seek for halal meat, and also mosque, masjid to pray. So I think it's very convenient also as a supporting factor for me to pursue a study here in the Netherlands.
Okay, so you say a lot of positive things about the Netherlands. And yeah, I think it's a good point that the Netherlands, it's like a home away from home, right? Because you feel like
Yeah.
home, but it's actually really far away. But because you already said some positive things, but I would like to know more about if you face challenging times during your application process to Amsterdam UMC.
Yeah, I think one of the challenge would be to get a letter of acceptance. So it's basically not very common here to provide letter of acceptance of you as a PhD candidate, and then you can submit it to a scholarship body. So it's not something common, but it is required by my scholarship body. So I have to tell them to make this letter. That was quite challenging for me in the beginning. And then we have a deadline also to submit that letter of acceptance. So it's my first challenge. I think the second challenge would be a little bit of an administrative process of legalizing everything, the academic diploma and transcripts, and also trying to put those documents to the right board in the university. I don't know which is the office, and whether should I go to the university level or the faculty level. Those kind of things in the beginning was a little bit challenging for me.
Yeah, I can agree that with those all of the work documents that you have to prepare, especially for international students, you have a lot of more preparations aside from visa. So,
Yeah.
but also in terms of finance, you also have to provide more than those are actually residing in the Netherlands already. So yeah, I can agree to that. Okay, so I see here that someone is already submitting a question. So will start from there. It's someone from Indonesia. His name is Albert. Albert is currently working in Indonesia, and he has a question regarding. Okay, let me just yeah. According to information from several top universities in the Netherlands, I got from respective websites, most of these universities only offer PhD vacancies in the fields of humanities, medicine, social and behavioral sciences, etc. I have I have an engineering background with a major in civil engineering and a specialization in construction materials, and he is finding it challenging to locate suitable supervisors. Do you have any tips to help me to find a suitable supervisor? Thank you for your reply and kind attention in advance.
Yeah, I think this is a very important question to address, because the first step to get a PhD is to find the match. Like, finding a supervisor is like finding a match of your life, I guess. So it is very important. And for me, I think I have this privilege because I had an opportunity to visit here and to see and to meet the professors face to face during my visit in the Netherlands in 2019. So that is one of the way is to find some event or conference or anything that make you able to meet the professor and see if they have the same research interest as you. So for example, if you have a opportunity to come to the Nuffic research PhD recruitment, I think that would be one of the way, beside finding some conferences. And perhaps the other way is to look into the university's website. So for example, in Amsterdam UMC, we have research portal. So you can see if you have a kind of an interest in certain topics, you can see who is doing what in that topic, and then you can see if they have this email address or a research group that you can try to approach, and then you can finally get in contact with the supervisor. So I think there are many possibilities, and all of them have their own challenges, but it's good to know that you can try in either one of these ways. So there is always a way.
Yeah.
Good luck, Albert.
Thank you, Mas Bagas, for your answer. And maybe just to add to your answer, apart from visiting the website of the university, you can always find more information at their website through the PhD page, because most of the majority of the website, they have their own PhD information. So you can always find contact details, for example, from the coordinator until the faculty of certain topics that you'd like to do your research on. So you can start from there, and then if you don't know who to contact, you can always try the PhD coordinator, because then they can direct you to the right person. But please, I think it's also important that you do your research first before contacting them. So it means that you sort of provide already interest into that university, and why are you choosing that university. Okay, so
Exactly. So
yeah.
you don't ask questions that you can easily look into within Google or other search
Yeah,
engines.
exactly. In these times of digitalization, I think you can find a lot of information on Google, right? So you can
Mhm.
actually already know what type of research that professor is currently conducting or they did in the past. So you know that you'll get the right, you can say, the right supervisor for you. Okay, so there's another question from Dinar, Mbak Dinar. Hello, Mas Bagas and Nuffic committee. I'd like to ask a few questions related to research records as a PhD candidate. I've been teaching in communication science since 3 years ago. However, I've done limited number of publication. Interesting, nih, Mas, because I don't know yet if you've had publication as a mandatory application for your research. So is there any advice for us as a new lecturer to strengthen our application in order to find prospective supervisor? Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can really relate on this challenge because I'm also very new back then. I was also 3 years into the academic as a lecturer, and then I decided to pursue the PhD. So I can really relate on the limited number of applications, just like you, Mbak Dinar. So what we can do is actually try uh, to pitch up our ideas by publishing. It's like a piloting study, for example. So you can try to create simple research, which is not to simplify, but a kind of research that is possible for you to do with this amount of time and this amount of level of busy as a new lecturer. I can imagine that would be very hard. So find something that is feasible and possible, and then try to publish it as a way to show that you have this kind of interest, this huge interest of the topics that you would like to pursue more into the PhD. And that is how you can show to your future supervisors that you do have this quality and this high intention of learning by doing this kind of pilot research. And the other thing is to provide more basic knowledge on the research topics, for example, so you can join the conferences either as a virtual conferences, or you can also join it directly. So the kind of the curriculum vitae that you have will be very supportive to show that you are truly very interested in that topics. So I think that those are the ways to strengthen our application in the eye of the supervisor. I hope that helps.
But just to know about regarding the topic of publication, how may I know how many publications that you had maybe before you're applying, just to show some idea for the audience here?
Yeah. So I only have one publication as the first author beforehand, before my PhD.
Mhm.
But I tried to submit it in the international journal. So probably it kind of, promote me a little bit, hopefully, so that they will, think that, okay, this guy is trying to learn something.
Mhm.
So that was, I think, helpful for me. And I also get another publication, but this time as a third author, if I'm not mistaken. So it also shows that I have the willingness to be involved in another research project other than mine,
Mhm.
which probably shows that I am also uh, open to learning new things. So it's probably, those kind of trying to, what is it? What do you call it? Like a self promotion, but in a more subtle and low key way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So do you suggest or advise to the participants here who don't who don't have any publication, to write their publication before pursuing their PhD to, I mean,
Yeah.
to enhance their chance to get the PhD position at the university.
Yeah, I think it would be very much rewarding if you have this experience. At least if you have tried to submit it and then you failed, at least you know how it works and how the process can be. So it will be very much helpful for you for your own future project as well to have this kind of experience, and it will be very valuable for you.
Okay. And do you think does it have to be uploaded or I mean connected to international journals, or it can also be a local
Yeah.
publication?
Yeah, if you want to be a very idealistic person, I think international journal will be the best, whatever quartile or whatever Scopus Index journal it will be,
Mhm.
because it will have a broad exposure for your audience. But if it's not possible for you, for example, due to time constraints or financial constraints, because of course we need to pay some kind of a fee, right? An article processing charge, which is also expensive for Indonesian uh, local teachers or students. So I think a national journal will also be possible for you to try to submit, but you can try to choose the journal that use English so that the supervisor can actually read your work and try to learn something from it, and they can also evaluate or assess you in a way from the writings that you have done in English. So it's okay if you submit it and publish it in a national journal, but try to choose the one that is in English.
Yeah, because I think I just realized that if you're publishing your articles in an international publication, it helps with when they are looking at your researching you through Google, for example, like from
Yeah,
keywords, for example, and it will show up on the internet, right? So I think that
exactly.
helps. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Mas Bagas, for the answer. Let's move on to the question from Secondary. Hi, Dr. Bagas. Wow, good news about COAS, considered as master degree in the Netherlands. Thanks for the information. I'm Sekun, also with medical doctor background. I'm trying to pursue a PhD in public health policy. Could you please help me mention universities in the Netherlands with health policy program? And if you don't mind, can I get your personal email for further in touch?
Right. Yeah. So I think my university in Amsterdam UMC, they also have public health policy program, but I'm not sure in which location, because in Amsterdam UMC we have two locations. One is in the University of Amsterdam and the other one is Vrij University, the VU. So I am not sure which one. And the other one could be the Erasmus Medical Center in Rotterdam. I know some of a very famous Indonesian public health policist graduated from there. So those are the starting point that you can try to look up if you want to Google it further. And for the email, sure, I think I can give it to you through Emmy, maybe.
Sure. So I'll share it later on. Maybe is it the one with your
Yeah,
academic
the
email?
office
Is that,
account.
yeah, the
Yeah.
office account? Okay, all right. All right, then thank you. Just to add about the how to find public any kind of programs or specific fields that you're looking for PhD, you can always try to visit studyfinder.nl. It's actually a database for bachelor's and master's program, but it helps. Why? Because you can find universities that actually offers yeah, that type of study programs, and then through there you can continue the research through their website if they actually provide or offer PhD in that particular field. So that's a alternative way to find yeah your intended field of PhD. Okay, so next question from Mas Aji. Hi, Dr. Bagas. At University of Amsterdam, can we contact directly some prospective supervisors by sending an email, or should we contact the graduate admission? Thank you.
Yeah, I think for most of the case, the pre-PhD candidates here try to approach the supervisor first, and then if the supervisor is happy with you and very supportive with you, I think the next step would be the graduate admission, and so you will continue with the formal application and those kind of things. So yeah, so I think it's possible to send an email, but please be assured that they are very busy as usual. So there might not be very fast response, especially for people with the personal email, I guess, because they usually have this kind of filter in their inbox to only show the most relevant first, which is from the same institution, for example. But it is possible to send them email.
Yeah, and it's actually encouraged to do that, Mas Bagas, especially if you really want to do the research under supervision by that professor. So I think it gives you like yeah, the interest, show you interest to that university, but also the professor. Okay. So next question from Malina. Hello, Dr. Bagas. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing your insights, very inspiring. My question is, how can individuals successfully adjust to academic writing when faced with a different culture or linguistics environment? Interesting
Yeah,
question, yeah.
I'm also still challenged with this kind of academic writing. So yeah, it's probably because of our education curriculum, which is not very much lean towards writing and more into the practice in medical doctor, for example, in my university. So it's still very challenging. But I guess what you can do is just try to write. So I've read some of the stories that in the first, second, or third attempt of writing, then you will write something that is completely illogical, for example, or you have a bad structure of writing. But then the more you try to write, and then you get more feedbacks from your supervisors or your friends, for example, then you will improve it yourself. So I guess just keep writing. And the second one that is also very important, and I'm still learning, is also to read. So you have to read as much work as possible that is related to your topics, so that you know what is actually going on currently in the field, and then see what kind of debates that are exist there, so you can easily engage with those discussion and try to grab those discussion into your own work. So I think those are my two advice. Just keep writing and try to read as much as possible. And to see again the question, when faced with a different cultural or linguistic environment, for example, if you are very much used to talk in Bahasa Indonesia, for example, and then you have to switch to English, I think it is also helpful for you if you try to practice more English with your own colleagues or your own family, for example, at home. So then you will get the idea of switching between both language more easier and more seamlessly. And I think here, if you already have a good level of English, I don't think you should be worried, because most of the time, even though here people are majorly talking in Dutch, but when there is a foreigner like me, like you, for example, coming from Indonesia, then they will easily switch to English to respect you and to include you into the conversation. So don't be afraid.
Yeah, good, very good advice there. Um, it makes me curious about how is actually your culture and academically difference when you try to transition your academic or student life sort of in Indonesia and the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
How big
I
of a
think,
difference between Indonesia and
yeah,
the Netherlands?
I think it's very different. Here we are very expected to be independent, and there is a one of the competence of PhD candidate is to be a self-directed learner. So you have to direct your own curriculum. For example, you should make your own PhD plan for the next 4 years. What kind of publications that you would have, what kind of courses that you would like to pursue. So we have this 30 ECTS, it's like SKS in Indonesia. So you decide your own curriculum, really. So if you want to have a little bit of statistics and more qualitative data courses, for example, you can do that. Or you want to add a Dutch language course, for example, you can also do that. So it's very independent and you can always consult it with your supervisor. It's very different from what I have. My experience as a medical student, we always have this a package of a block that we have to do. There's not much independence. So it's very different for me, and I am still struggling with that for sure. But I think it's very good to feel this and to experience this new learning environment, which is I think very helpful for you to grow personally.
So, because you've mentioned a bit regarding the differences in yeah academically, but how yeah, there's someone who's actually interested to know about your daily life in the Netherlands. So,
Mm.
as a PhD candidate, what are you actually doing aside from doing research, the main point of the PhD program? But are you also working as a academic staff, for example? So, doing a lecture or helping out a supervisor to assess maybe a master's thesis, for example. So how what is the day-to-day looks like for you in the Netherlands as a
Yeah.
PhD candidate?
Yeah, so for me personally, I don't have teaching obligations, but I do have teaching opportunity. So there are few opportunity that I can try to involved. For example, I have supervision for Bachelor of Medicine students here in Amsterdam UMC to and what those kind of things. And that is one opportunity that I take. And for teachings as a lecturer, for example, no, I don't have that obligation.
Mm.
But I do have some opportunity to share what the research findings can be for students and also for healthcare workers here in the Netherlands in certain spring school events. So yeah, that is one of few activities beside doing our own research and writing the dissertation. But I think what is also interesting for me to share is also the daily routine as a person here in the Netherlands. So here I'm not alone. Now I have my wife and my son with me. So one of the daily routines would be to drop off and pick up my son from the preschool and also do groceries. And during the groceries, we are scanning our own products and paying our own with the self checkout machine. So it's very different to what
Convenient.
we used to do.
Yes,
And
everything is do it independently, yeah.
do it yourself.
Do
Yeah,
it yourself.
independent. We are very independent now. So that's very interesting. And the other thing is the commute. So here we commute with, as you know, the famous Dutch bikes. So we always commute with bikes, or we put the bikes in the train and then we commute to somewhere else. And what is very fortunate is that our public transportation here in the Netherlands is very, I think it's very reliable. So you can really count on them, and their schedules are pretty much on time. So it's very good. You don't have to think about, parking your own car or your own motorcycle. Just grab your bike, and you don't have to pay for the gasoline. So it's very sustainable for the environment as well.
Great. Maybe apart from the a lot of cars or motorcycle, you will see a lot of bikes going everywhere,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
more
everywhere.
parking lot for the bikes.
Yeah, yeah. It's very good.
Okay. Next questions. Halo Pak Bagas, is it possible for freelancer or part-timer worker to get a scholarship? Okay, now we're talking about scholarship.
Mhm. Okay, so I think it depends on what kind of scholarship that you would like to apply. I think I can only speak for my own experience. I think for LPDP, they don't have a certain requirement of what kind of work or job that you should have uh, to apply LPDP scholarship. So I think it's very possible for you, as long as you show that you have this intention to be contributive to Indonesian development in the future. Yeah. So
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Okay, so maybe for those of you who don't know, LPDP is a scholarship from the Indonesian government through the Ministry of what is it?
The finance.
Yeah, finance, exactly. Thank you for helping out. Okay, let's see. Another question from Mas or Mbak Anggun. I already get the chance to do an interview with a Dutch university by the scheme Indonesia PhD recruitment on October 7th via academic transfer. Maybe you have a tips for me to run the interview smoothly? Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. I think the interview would be for me, I think the goal of the interview is not for you to secure your position, but also to learn more about your supervisor, because he or she will be your boss, or yeah, your supervisor for the next 4 years. So I think it's very important also for you to know him or her personally, and to see if she or he can be the right person to guide you and to facilitate you during this PhD journey, which is very challenging, very tough. I can say it's also very lonely because you do your own research. It's not like you're doing a group work, but it's more like a very lonely. So I think it's also very good to know and to learn more about your supervisor as well. So if you are not, get a match in this kind of interview, it's okay, because that's part of the process. And the second tips that I can give to you is just be yourself, and try to be relaxed as possible, and not to make some kind of a mask or a facade during the interview, because that will jeopardize the whole assessment during the interview. Because it is best if you can show your own self, and then it would be best if the supervisor is happy with your own, so you don't have to pretend to be someone else. So I think
Yeah.
that is what is the most important thing.
Yeah, maybe try to make the interview in a two-way interview, not like just a one-way conversation, because I see that a lot of professors, they would like to know about you more, but also to discuss more about your topic actually. So in order to do that, you have to show that you yeah, to show your interest, of course, but also for you to get to know more about the university itself. So from there, your conversation can go into another direction as well, maybe to change
Yeah.
it could be that you can possibly changing your topic, but from that, you can also find other opportunities as well, because I heard from other speakers who did 6 interviews during a PhD recruitment, but he eventually didn't get any acceptance from those interviews, but eventually he did receive a contact from one of the universities to get an offer at their university for a job position. So it doesn't have to be doesn't have to be complete approval within the PhD recruitment, but it can lead you to another opportunity. Yeah. Okay. So I'm currently looking at my time here. It's 3:08. So do you think you still have time to possibly answer or discuss 1 or 2 questions?
I think one more question from Shahzami Putra, which is about the difference between PhD candidate with external scholarship or the employed PhD candidate. So I think both has their own plus and minus. So if you are an external PhD candidate with external scholarship, you have the independence to lead your own research, and you can really have all kinds of ideas of what research that you would try to do, of course, with feedbacks from your supervisors. But the minus is probably the living allowance from your scholarship will not be higher than the fee paid for the PhD that is employed by the university. It could be half of the PhD employed by the university. So that is the plus and minus. I think the other thing, if you are employed by a Dutch university, you can also have some, what is it? Like an additional allowance from the government, for example. So if you have a certain amount of income, then you are entitled for certain allowance from the government, for example, for a housing rent or child allowance. So those kind of things can be accessible for you if you have income from a Dutch university. Yeah, so I think that's the difference. Both have their own pros and cons. And I think whatever that is possible for you to pursue, you can just try, because whatever ways that can lead you to your goal, I think that would be the best way. So there are no one best answer for this question.
Okay. And maybe the difference will be about the contract, yeah, Mas Bagas?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're employed by the Dutch university, then you would have to do a certain obligations. Exactly. So for example, you have to do a certain hours for your teachings. You have teachings hours, for example. While for if you get a external scholarship, you can maybe negotiate with that professor regarding your obligations at the university.
Yeah, spot on. Thank you, Emmy.
Yeah, great. All right, so I think, shall we wrap up this session? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mas Bagas, for your time, for being here and answering all those questions. Real interesting. Unfortunately, we don't have much that time to cover all of the topics. But if you do have more questions regarding the field of PhD that Mas Bagas is currently researching on, or even about the Amsterdam UMC, you are welcome to contact him through his email address, and then you can feel free to discuss more about that. But to just close this session, maybe some words or messages that you would like to share with us to our candidates here, maybe those who are preparing their interviews for the PhD recruitment? Do you have any tips and tricks for them to start their PhD in the Netherlands?
Yeah. I think PhD is indeed a very tough journey. I'm not exaggerating it because it is indeed tough and challenging. But as long as you are still alive, it means that you still have the ability to finish it in a way. So be prepared for any kind of obstacles and challenges that you may encounter during your PhD, but also try to enjoy it, because if you have the opportunity to do a PhD here in the Netherlands, it will give you a very valuable lifetime experience. Good luck.
Agree. Well, thank you very much again, Mas Bagas, for those kind words and messages to our participants here. So, yeah, just again, be yourself and try to research a lot of on Google and on the internet if you're still starting to find professors. But if not, you can always contact us as well if you still have questions regarding the PhD. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this in this episode, and then we'll see you in another occasion, and we'll let you know if there will be another upcoming session. But feel free to join our YouTube channel to subscribe and to find our playlist of our PhD in the Netherlands online series, because we also different kinds of speakers from all Dutch universities to know more about the PhD in the Netherlands. So yeah, Mas Bagas, thank you very much, and have a good day and good luck with your research, and we
Thank
hope
you.
to welcome you again in Indonesia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone, for your kind, enthusiastic attendings here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.